Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear students of 9C, this is your first lecture for chemistry and I am your teacher Mohammed Ilyas. Dear students, today's topic is from your book chapter number 5 and the topic number 3 according to CI syllabus, and this topic is formula, stoichiometry and the mole. The objectives for today's understanding are the first one, the symbols of the elements and the formula of the compounds. We will try to understand the symbols of elements and the formula of compounds with their importance. The second objective for today's lecture is the formula of simple compounds from the relative number of atoms present, the number of atoms present in any compound. This is based for formula. The formula of ionic compounds from the charges on the ions present. We will be able to understand the importance of the charges on different ions. And the fourth and the very important objective for today's is the percentage composition of elements in the given compounds. We can calculate the percentage composition of any element present in the particular compound. So we are going to start from the symbols of the elements. This is also called the atomic symbols. The atomic symbols are basically a way to write the name of the element in shorthand form. We can write the name of any element with its abbreviation so that we can understand it by the simple way. It is usually denoted by the initial capital letter. As an example for you, the symbols for carbon is C. The C is stand for carbon when we are going to write the name of carbon in any compound or equation. So there are some more examples for you, but sometimes it happens that if two or more elements starts with the same letter, then the second or third letter written in the same form is added with the first capital letter. We can write another letter but in a smaller font so that we can write the name of different elements having the same starting with the same letter. For example, the calcium, carbon, cesium, chromium, californium, cerium, chlorine and cobalt. Dear student, you can see over here that all these compounds are starting with the same letter, and that is C. So we have to add another letter so that we can understand while they are written in abbreviated form. These are the few examples. Now we are moving towards the periodic table. You can see in this periodic table all these are elements written with their symbols, abbreviated forms. So now you can understand the importance from this periodic table, importance of the symbols. All the elements are written with the symbols. This is the whole periodic table. The modern periodic table contains 118 elements. Dear students, after understanding the symbols and their importance, now we are moving towards the next and very important point, and that is the formula of the compounds or molecules. A formula is an abbreviated expression of chemical compound or molecule and a proper combination of chemical symbols. When we combine the symbols, we are able to get the formula of the compound or molecule, the symbols of the elements in a compound. Here is an example for you, the chemical formula for water. This is the chemical formula of water. Here we can see that the water is having two types of elements. One is hydrogen and second is oxygen. And we can also come to know that how many atoms of hydrogen and oxygen are there. We can see from this formula that there are 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen is in the water molecule. So chemical formula tell us about the types of atoms in a compound or molecule and also their numbers, how many atoms are present in a compound. From this simple example we can understand. Here are a few other examples for you. The name of the compound with the chemical formula, which I have selected for you. The first is a salt. This is common salt we commonly usually used in our home. This formula is NaCl. NaCl is telling us that salt is made up of two types of elements. One is sodium and second is chlorine. And also this is depicting that only one atom of sodium is required and one atom of chlorine is required to make a compound of sodium chloride. Another example for you which I have selected is a sucrose. You can see there are three types of atoms in sucrose molecule: carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. And we can also know about the number of carbon atoms, hydrogen and oxygen. Likewise, we have another example of vinegar or acetic acid and the baking soda or sodium bicarbonate. We can find out in any chemical formula there are how many types of atoms are there and what is the number of atoms in that particular compound. Here are some examples for you. These are all ionic compounds. The first one is the calcium chloride. You can see that the calcium chloride is made up of two types of ions. One is the calcium ion having the positive charge, also called the cation, and the second is the chloride ion having negative charge, and this is also called anion. From this compound we can come to understand the types of atoms, number of atoms and the charges on these atoms present in that particular compound. The calcium in this case is having +2 charge. The calcium ion is having 2 charge and the chloride ion is having -1 charge. So we need to compensate this +2 charge with the negative charges. We need 2 chloride ions. So that's why calcium chloride is having CaCl2 formula. This formula is telling us that the calcium is 1, chloride are 2, and the charges on these ions also we can also consider. Another example is the barium oxide. Barium is having +2 charge, oxygen is having -2 charge. So this oxide is enough. One oxygen ion is enough to compensate the charge on the barium. And the third is the potassium sulfide. The potassium is having +1 charge and sulfide is having -2. So to compensate the -2 charge on the sulfide, we need 2 ions of potassium. So K2S, this is formula. There are few other examples from which you can understand this whole. Dear students, after having this understanding about the formulas and the symbols, we are moving towards the very next important point, that is the chemical equations. A chemical equation basically describes what happens during a chemical reaction. Chemical reactions basically depends on the reactants in the products. When some compounds react with each other and form the new compounds, the reacting compounds are called reactants and the new compounds which are produced, these are called products, and this whole process is called a chemical reaction. This chemical reaction needs a description, and we describe this chemical reaction with the help of a chemical equation. For example, iron plus sulfur, these are two elements, they combine together and form the iron sulfide. This is the equation in simplest form to express the chemical reaction. Now we are moving towards the ionic equation. Ionic equation represents the reaction between ionic compounds in aqueous solution. Here are some examples of molecular equation and ionic equation. A molecular equation shows the reactant, means the reacting compounds, and the products, means the the compounds which we obtained after the chemical reaction. In this case, you can see lead nitrate is going to react with the potassium chloride and form the new compounds lead chloride and potassium nitrate. But we are moving towards the ionic equation. How ionic equation can tell us about this molecular equation? So we can understand this molecular equation with the help of ionic equation. Here you can see the ions of lead, nitrate, potassium and chloride. Potassium and nitrate combine with each other and form the potassium nitrate, and lead and chloride combine with each other and form the lead chloride. From this equation we can understand the ionic moments, from where the ions move and move to where, to that which direction. Dear students, we are now focusing on the empirical formula. Empirical formula is very important for better understanding of the chemistry, different equations. The empirical formula is basically the lowest whole number ratios of atoms in a compound is used. This is, we can write the formula of any compound in the simplest way so that we can easily write it and understand it. Here is an example for you: benzene. Benzene is an organic compound having the formula C6H6. We can convert this formula into an empirical formula by a simple ratio of 6/6, and this is equal to 1/1. So we can write the C6H6 as CH, means C1H1. Another example for you: acetic acid. Acetic acid is having a formula C2H4O2. If we want to convert this into empirical formula, we have to got the ratio. The ratio is 2:4, is equal to 1:1. So we can write the formula of acetic acid C2H2O2 as CH2O. So from these examples you can easily understand how can we convert empirical formula by getting simple ratios between the number of atoms present in that compound. Here is another example which I have selected for you, is a propane. Propane is having this formula C3H8. This cannot be write into further simplest form because the ratio is 3/8. So this empirical formula for propane is the same as its formula, molecular formula. Dear students, now we are focusing on the percent composition. Percent composition means we can find out the percentage of anything present in any big thing. For example, for elements in a compound we use this formula: mass of element over molar mass multiplied by 100 is equal to percentage of the element in that particular compound. With the help of this formula we can calculate the mass of any element in the given compound. Here are a few examples from which you can understand in a better way how can we find out the mass percentage of any element in the given compound. I have selected a molecular formula of ethanol. The formula is C2H5OH. First of all, we have to calculate the molar mass of this molecule. This molecule of ethanol is having 2 carbon, 5 hydrogen, 1 oxygen and 1 more hydrogen. So total number of hydrogen is 6. So the mass of the atomic mass of the carbon is 12.01 and the total number of carbon in this ethanol are 2. So we can calculate the total mass of carbon in ethanol, 2 into 12. And then hydrogen, the total atoms are 6 and the atomic mass of hydrogen is 1.008. So total mass is 6.008 6.024. Now we are moving towards the next, that is oxygen. The mass of oxygen atom is 16 and the total number of atoms is only 1. So we can calculate the molar mass of ethanol according to this given situation, and that is 46.068. Going to focus to find out the percentage of mass of carbon. So according to the formula, we have to put the mass of the carbon, which is 24.02, over the molar mass of the ethanol, 46.068, into 100, and the mass percentage of carbon is 52.14%. In the same way, we can get the mass percentage of hydrogen. The mass of hydrogen is 6.048. Molar mass of ethanol is 46.068 multiplied by 100, and the mass percentage of hydrogen is 13.13%. And likewise, we can get the mass percentage of oxygen, 16 over 46.068 into 100, and the mass percentage of oxygen is 34.73. So dear students, from these three examples from the same compound, we can understand easily that how can we calculate the mass percentage of any element in the given compound. Okay, dear students, we have studied from the today's lecture the formula, symbol, chemical equations, empirical formula, and the mass percentage of elements in a given compound. I have selected some homework for you. This is from your book, chapter number 5, the question number 5.1 to 5.6, and these questions are written on the page number 96 to 104. I am very much confident that you have learned all these things, and if you have any question, you can send your queries. Thank you very much for your time spending with me. Allah Hafiz.